Greg?
How does the Bible translate or address, it's a two-part question on its first part, second part. Church fundraising. Now, there's a lot of churches don't believe in that on church property, and I don't understand that. So, are you aware of that?
So your question is, how does the Bible address church fundraising?
Yes.
Specifically dealing with on church property.
Yes. From what I gathered and from the research I've done, it's a no.
Right.
You can fill me in on that.
You have any thoughts on that?
How are we? What is the difference between, I guess, like church fundraising and tithing? I guess, or when I think church fundraising, I typically think you go somewhere else to raise funds for your church. But I
What's
Okay.
that? It's raffles, tickets.
okay.
it's-
Bake sales and car washes and
Yes.
that kind of stuff?
Yes.
Don't say bingo.
Do you think the Bible addresses that
Well-
specifically?
My understanding, because I've been in churches where it's whatever, it's for God, let's do a good thing, and I've been in churches where it has been considered a no-no. Don't you dare have any kind of profiteering, money-making thing on these premises that is of the devil. And the ones who would say it's a no-no, the passage they point to is where Jesus comes into the temple and starts throwing over the tables and how dare you make my Father's house into a marketplace. However, and I addressed this a little bit when we touched on that passage a few weeks ago, I don't think that's a real good application of that text. I don't think that's what Jesus was upset about. He wasn't upset that there was things being bought in the temple. Because, and we kind of explained at the time, that you kind of had to. I mean, it was just a function for temple worship to take place. Some of these things had to go on, at least at or nearby the temple. I mean, the buying of an offering, if you lived far away and you had your spotless lamb, by the time you got to Jerusalem, it wasn't spotless. So the Bible actually made concession for you to sell your lamb, bring the money to Jerusalem, and buy a suitable offering. And so there was that already going on. So I don't think that's what was going on in that passage. And so I don't think that you can really use that as a blanket claim of no selling of anything on church property.
Weren't they kind of like price gouging too?
Yeah, well, and-
it was the heart of the people selling that he was upset with.
I think of it, the den of thieves, right? That
Yeah.
there's something about there's thievery, there's usury going on. They were selling things that weren't they essentially selling the right to take place in the worship because they were selling the sacrifices and kind of taking advantage of people.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Bible doesn't specifically say what exactly they were doing, but we know from other things that he says about how they cheat people and they're being unfair and that sort of thing, and being after material gain, and so we can kind of assume a little bit, speculate a little bit about what was going on. That that it was the price gouging, that they were. Some people say that the place where they were doing it would have been the court of the Gentiles, and so they were actually blocking off worship where people couldn't come to worship God because they were taking up this space in the temple to do it. And so I don't know that passage rightly just applies to saying you can't sell anything in church.